Grace and peace to you. We continue our study of Revelation. We are in Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. This was one of the angels introduced to us early in Revelation, specifically first seen in Revelation chapter 15 and verse 1. This angel has some visions to show and explain to John. First off, let us look at the waters. What does many waters mean? It's actually explained in Revelation 17, verse 15. The harlot sits upon many waters. She exerts a force over the masses. The water is people. So she has a wide sphere of influence. Now then, who is the harlot? Satan will require a worldwide religious system. It will help foster an environment in which his lies can be propagated. He will even ensure that animal sacrifices can resume in the Jewish temple for a time, but he'll break that covenant halfway through, Daniel 9:27. He does this because Satan hates Israel, Revelation 12:13. He only had a covenant with them so that he could further his own devices. Satan making big promises and then lying, and then it being revealed that he lied about it, is a common theme found throughout the Bible, though especially Revelation. The harlot then is his religious system. He can use such a religious system to unite people to himself. Ultimately, the system in its initial phase will accept anything and everything except for the truth of the gospel, the one way to heaven, John 14, verse 6. Satan opposes anything that is righteous and holy, and the message of the Bible will be the one thing not tolerated in his system. He hates it, Revelation 13, verse 6. Ultimately, this harlot, this worldwide religious system, at its completion is meant to set up an environment for him to create his own religion, one in which he is worshipped and revered, Revelation 13:14. The religious system will fall, however, before the political system. The story will show that to us as we read forward. Verse 2 of the text. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. The harlot's description continues here. The verse tells us politicians and common people alike are swept up in the acts of this religious system, a system where everything goes except the truth. There are many similarities to the religious practices, the cult that we saw in Revelation chapter 2, verses 20 through 22 of our study. The concept is the same. A group of religious leaders, or in this case ultimately a single religious leader, leading the people towards sinful actions and beliefs, all under the guise of religion. How then is there a connection between idolatry, worship of Satan, and fornication? What is the combination? First, there is a physical connection between idolatry and fornication. In the ancient world, temple prostitution was prolific. At that time, it was believed engaging in sexual actions with these prostitutes constituted a form of worship and was sanctioned by the religions that practiced them. Rome's pantheon was among them. So then sexual sins and idolatry would go hand in hand in the ancient world, in a physical sense. But predominantly there is a spiritual connection. The church is, in a way, or ultimately will become the spouse of Christ, 2 Corinthians 11:12. That is, believers should be pure in their pursuit of Christ and seek no one else. The actions of other religions are acts of worship of other gods, and participation is essentially seeking the love and affection in another god's arms. Hence the connection to infidelity. Said another way, idolatry is spiritual adultery. Often the practices that we find in the world are commonly associated with promiscuity. Even in today's culture, they go hand in hand. The actions of this religious system, the harlot, will continue to only get worse as time progresses. The level of her debauchery will only continue to plummet further. Verse 3 of the text. So he carried me away in the spirit unto the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. John's vision now carries him elsewhere. He sees the woman now seated on some sort of monstrosity. You will notice that the description is largely taken from Revelation chapter 13. During our study, we saw the description of Satan's political system. The only difference is the color. Again, it refers to the political system of Satan's regime. Further proof of this is seen in chapter 17, where we are now, verses 9, 10, and 12. All of these provide additional details regarding this beast's description, and ultimately associate with the same beast of Revelation 13. The scarlet color is completely new. That is, it's not found in Revelation 13, only in 17. Why? That's because he has shed a lot of blood since he came to power back in Revelation 13. His blood, the blood he has shed especially, is that of the saints. Revelation 13:7. Satan had created religious peace agreements to further his own agenda, which he later breaks. Again, Daniel 9:27. Instead, however, his religious system ends up controlling the political system. He meant it as a means for him to control the masses, but ultimately the religion and its promiscuity proves to be more powerful, a greater influence over the people than the politics. Hence why the woman is seen seated on or controlling, as it were, the beast. Verse 4 of the text. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. The harlot is decked in the finest apparel of John's time, and such a description would still speak of opulence today. The contents of the cup is actually revealed in verse 6 of chapter 17. But first, verse 5 of our text. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of earth. The mystery of this harlot, it is a mystery because the understanding of who she was and what she truly is capable of is hidden from her followers. We advise that this is the Satan's political system. It's literally his tailor-made religion meant to control and manipulate the masses. They cannot see her for the evil that she is. Those in this cult are consumed by it. Yet again, she is referred to as Babylon. The use of Babylon was seen in chapter 16, which we mentioned at that time. But again, as a reminder, Babylon was a nation, ancient Babylon, was a nation representing the epitome of idolatry and wickedness. Isaiah 21:9. This Babylon, this religious system of Babylon, she is the mother of abominations and harlots. This is the culmination of mankind's sin and folly. The darkest, the most sadistic of religions. Sexual sins and pagan practices had often went hand in hand in the ancient world, and they still continue in some religions today, with it becoming even more prolific during the tribulation period. Ultimately, the worship of idols and practices that accompany them are the worship of demonic entities. We have this confirmed for us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 20. There is only one true faith, one path that leads to heaven. Ephesians 4:5. We are warned to abstain from sexual sins, pagan rituals, or anything else that would take us away from the pure worship of God. Acts 15, verse 20. It's important to remember that 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4 warns us that Satan is the god of the mindset of the pagan world. He has the ability to blind people to the truth, and the majority of those during his reign will be blind to the fact he is leading them to hell. From the outside, were we to see what John is seeing, we could see the debauchery and understand how far they've fallen, but they're incapable of doing so. Only the light of the gospel allows us to be freed from this cycle of Satan's slavery in our lives. The Bible says those who believe with their heart and confess with their mouth that Jesus is Lord and that he rose from the dead shall be saved. Only the power of the gospel can purify the mind and allow us to see the truth. That is the end of our study for now. I thank you very much. We will continue studying Revelation. May the Lord bless you and keep you. And until next time, God bless.